Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, look, I don't really follow basketball. You know what I'm saying? Not like I used to. You know what I'm saying? The game has changed so much that certain players I like. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really. And then the Wizards be so sorry. My team is the Wizards. They've been sorry for so long that I'm not enthused about the NBA. But with that being said, man, with me not knowing too much about the process of how everything works, why do it seem like the Wizards every year are drafting all of these foreign players? Like you watch the NCAA, you see all these great players in college, and you got the number 2 overall pick, and you go get a French person. Like, what's up with the college kids that was just balling out? You know what I'm saying? Like, out of all the people that played in March Madness, all them 64 teams that made the tournament, it was nobody good enough to be the number 2 overall pick. They had to go to another country to get the number 2 pick. Come on, man. Then last year they spent their first round pick on a foreigner too. Like, what's up with that shit? Like, you wonder why they some trash every year. Like, what's up with their decision making, dog? The Wizards are the worst drafting team, dog, in the NBA, Slim. The only time I ever remember them drafting good, like in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? I was born in the 80s, so in my lifetime, was like when we got oh no, we ain't even draft. Did we draft Chris? Yeah, we drafted Chris Webber. Then or did Golden State draft him, and then we got him. No, I think we drafted Chris Webber. We had a good team when we had Chris Webber when we was the Bullets. We had Webber, Juwan Howard, Calvin Chaney, George Murison, Rod Strickland. You know what I'm saying? When we had that mob, like, they was decent, man. You know what I'm saying? And later on, but we didn't draft Gilbert, but when we had Gilbert, we was a good team when Gilbert was at his best. See, Gilbert was a real dominant player for like 3 or 4 years. And he's the type of player that we've been looking. That's the type of player you need. You need that dominant player that just want the ball that's going to shoot and take over games and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Gilbert was before he, brought them guns out. Like, he brought them guns out, changed his whole career. It's like the injuries and all that shit started happening at the same time. But yeah, man, I don't want to. All right, here go my conspiracy mind working, right? The government, for whatever reason, is basically trying to, like, I don't know if they want to get rid of Black America or if they don't want Black Americans to be so popularized. Because, like, the stuff that's going on, like, it's like, I understand you want basketball to be it's global, but man, you know what it is, man. When it comes to the NBA, it was created by a white person, I think a Canadian, but hey, once black people started playing it, we basically took the sport over, and black people is what made the NBA popular, and that's just what it is. Black Americans made the NBA a global sport. You know what I'm saying? You had people on other continents looking up to Black American NBA players, fantasizing about being them. They want to be them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, to me it seemed like, ain't nothing too much changed. Like, the best basketball players in the world, I'm pretty sure are still Black Americans. But the Wizards are trying their hardest to, instead of having Black Americans, you just want a team full of a whole bunch of just non-Black Americans, I guess. You know what I'm saying? The NBA just pushing, they pushing, like, but I understand, I guess that's a way to grow it. But don't minimize, you don't gotta minimize us to grow it, because we like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you took all the Black Americans out the NBA and just, you know what I'm saying, play with all the foreigners, like, the NBA wouldn't be that fun. It'd be like watching a foreign league. Like, it'd be okay. You You know what I'm saying? But if you take all the foreigners out the NBA and just let it be black Americans, man, the NBA is still the NBA. That shit's still like that. Yeah, you're gonna miss out on some of them great players from other countries, but we'll still be able to hold that jump together. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's just, that's just weird to me, man, that, you got all these college players, and I could see if you had like the number 20th pick or something, you know what I'm saying? But you got the number 2 pick, and this dude out of France is better than every black American that was eligible for the draft, except for one. I don't even know who went first. Like, and then they talking about like his game ain't even polished. They like I think they say he's 7 feet tall, which is, that's cool, that's basketball. But they say the dude weigh like 220 pounds. How you gonna be 7 feet tall and weigh 220? Man, that dude light on his ass, man. They drafted this dude talking about his defense. Like he blocked a lot of shots and rebounds. Like, what? When you start getting drafted number 2 overall for blocking shots and rebounds, though, you gotta be, if you could do that on top of, orchestrating the team or scoring a lot of points, then that's a positive. But I don't think nobody get drafted number 2 overall, just because you could rebound and block shots. Like, you know what I'm saying? The most important thing is putting that ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like, then they talking about his offensive game ain't really, it's still a lot he got a lot of growing to do and all that. Like, with the number 2 pick, you drafting projects with your number 2. Is there nobody good that's like coming out of college? Like, what's going on? I don't really follow the NCAA. Shorty, my mind is so much on the NFL 24/7, dog. Like, even in like right now, I'm still on the NFL hard. I'm watching the NFL Network. I'm keeping up with all the teams. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the best ball shit. All these fantasy drafts. I'm doing all that shit. Like, that's just what my mind be on. So if the Wizards ain't balling out, man, I'm not really tripping off basketball. But I do want to see LeBron play with his son. Hey, if they can win a championship together, that would be phenomenal, man. Like, I don't think all the LeBron haters, I don't think you can hate on that if he win a championship with his son, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a black man, man. With that black child, man. He raising that child, man. He doing that, man. You gotta give him some props for that. But, yeah, man. Like, it's like they trying to erase us, man. I ain't understand it. Just like, they drafting all these foreign players, and that's why the Wizards are some shit. Like, which one of them foreign players they drafted was a beast with the Wizards? What player ever did they draft that was I'm telling you, man, outside of like Chris Webber, like, you know what I'm saying? Outside of like Chris Webber, like, Juwan Howard and them, and Juwan was only good when Webber was there. Once Juwan got that contract and Webber left, for whatever incident that happened or whatever, they chose to keep Juwan and get rid of Webber, which was, even back then, you knew that was a foolish move. But yeah, Juwan was basically, without Webber, he was nothing. That's just what it is. He wasn't that good without Webber, man. He wasn't worth that money. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, John Wall, he was a good player, but he wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't good enough to take our team nowhere. You couldn't build your team around him. And you couldn't build a championship team with John Wall, man. You couldn't build a championship team with Bradley Beal. Now, where are the foreign players that's cooking? Why they keep drafting all these foreigners? Like, I ain't understanding that shit, man. You trying so hard to find a Dirk Nowitzki or a Luka and all that. Like, them dudes come, they few and far in between, man. You know what I'm saying? You better do what you been doing and know what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't, dog, Wizards. The Wizards ain't gonna never be good, dog. They never gonna be good ever. Not drafting the way they draft, man. You think you're gonna have a whole bunch of foreigners and shit on the NBA team and they gonna be winning like that? Like, come on, man. You got your star player gonna be a 7 foot, 220 pound dude, man. Yeah, all them shots he was blocking overseas, man, he not gonna be blocking that shit in the NBA. That shit gonna be like Kwame Brown, man. I'm telling you, man. That shit gonna be like Kwame Brown, man. Like, yeah, you was dominating because you was in high school and you was like 6'11", 7 feet. And most of the people you was playing with, you know, they weren't that tall. They was kids. You was playing with kids. They weren't 7 feet, so you was dominating. You know what I'm saying? But once you start going up against them dudes that's your size and bigger, you ain't dominating no more. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how I see the dude, the freshman. Like, you too small. Well, I can't say that, man, because like I said, I like the old NBA. So this ain't the old NBA. You know, them dudes be 7 feet shooting threes and stuff now. So my mind is thinking about, like, nigga, you 7 feet and you 220. Man, how you gonna guard Shaq or David Robinson or Patrick Ewing or Hakeem Olajuwon? Any of them, Tim Duncan, any of them, Rick Smith, Vlade Divac. You know what I'm saying? The game done changed, man. The game done changed. You got what is his position at 7 feet? Is that the guy they said was a 7-foot guard or something? Nah, I don't think so. I think he playing the post. Then they say it's like a 7-foot guard or something. They got drafted. Like, wow, man. You that tall, you so close to the basket, man. Just put your back to that jump, turn around and flush that jump. They don't want to do that no more. They don't like it being a contact sport. You know? Yeah, man. Just like with hip hop, like all of a sudden, you know, Puerto Ricans, I want to say Puerto Ricans specifically, all of a sudden, shorty, just keep it 100, man. You never grew up in your life. I don't care if you 40, 50, 60, 30, 20. You never in your life, you always knew that hip hop was a black American thing. You always knew that. You just knew it. A motherfucker don't gotta tell you. You could just watch and see. You could just look at it. A motherfucker don't have to tell you. You could just watch. How in the hell all of a sudden so many Puerto Ricans want to come out and say they started hip hop 50-50? That's why I'm saying it's like they trying to erase it. They trying to erase it from basketball. Yeah, don't draft. It's like somebody telling them, don't draft the black players no more. Yeah, start drafting more and more foreigners. We're gonna slowly get get these black dudes out the league. You know what I'm saying? Start putting that rumor out that Latinos created. Yeah, wasn't y'all living in the Bronx back then? Wasn't y'all living there? Okay, then yeah, y'all can take claim to it. Just start the rumor and keep saying it and stand on it. And eventually, you know what I'm saying? But we not going to allow that, man. We not going to allow that. That's crazy, man. Fat Joe came out and said he said Latinos. I don't think he said Puerto Ricans. He said Latinos and started hip-hop 50-50 with blacks. He said that shit like 2 years ago. Before Fat Joe said that shit 2 years ago, I never, ever heard a Latino ever say that they helped create hip-hop, man. Every Latino you ever been around, every Latino you hung out with, they know that hip-hop is black American. They know that. They know when they go in the house, they come outside, they hanging with some black dudes or whatever, they on they thug shit, you know what I'm saying? They dressing like us, looking like us. And then when you go in the house, it's different. You go in the house, you probably speaking a different language. Your accent a little different, the tone, your reflection in your voice a little different, you know what I'm saying? It's different, dog. The Wizards suck, man. Shorty, the Wizards never been... Shorty, in 41 years of my living, man, I don't think the Wizards or Bullets ever was like... They wasn't never like a true contender for a championship, ever. I think the closest we was when we had Gilbert. And we kept losing to Cleveland in the second round. I think that's the best teams we had, man, in my life, man. Second round playoff teams, man. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna get better drafting how you draft, man. Drafting a whole bunch of foreigners, man. But I hope that dude end up being like that, man. I hope he make me eat my words and he come out there and he just so phenomenal that, oh yeah, now I can see why they drafted him. But if he come out there, man, he's sitting on a bench, he hasn't even earned a starting spot, and they trying to bring him in slow and all that, like they do all these other players they be drafting that don't end up doing shit. Like who's making these decisions, man? Is it the coach? Is it just the coach? Like who is making these decisions, though? All right, y'all.